Hey guys, Brian Fontaine here on YouTube at New Life Recovery. Welcome. Today I want to talk about positive self-talk versus negative self-talk. And it's something that we talk a lot about in recovery, but one thing that I learned recently has really brought this to the forefront of my mind, and that has to do with, believe it or not, the fight or flight um, reaction in our brains. It's what we sometimes call lower brain function, that fight or flight. And most of you are probably familiar with this, at least to some degree. Right? We have a perceived threat. A dog is running after us and he's barking and he's gnarling his teeth and he's hunched as though he's going to spring up at us and attack us. And several things happen. One, our eyes dilate, our eyes get really big. Why? To be able to take in as much information as we can. Our face goes pale. Why? Our body instantly redirects our blood to our muscles and our heart. Our heart starts to race and our breathing starts to increase. Why? So that we can be ready to either run like hell or fight like hell, right? Fight or flight. Our bodies produce cortisol. We get a rush of adrenaline and cortisol. Adrenaline, why? So that our bodies can run like hell or fight like hell. We get cortisol to help our muscles repair because again we're going to be running like hell or we're going to be fighting like hell. So we get all of these physiological responses so that our body can be prepared to fight or to flee, to fight or to run. What happens is sometimes it's just a perceived threat. Maybe that dog growls, but then he runs back off into the woods, runs off in the other direction. It takes about 20 minutes for our body to calm down and get back to a normal keel after we have that. Um, by the way, those are also symptoms of a panic attack. And usually, when we talk about getting stuck in lower brain function, we're usually thinking of it as it relates to anxiety and trauma, you know, um, getting ready to go over a bridge, but you happen to have a phobia of bridges, and you begin to have those perceived threats. That this bridge isn't safe. We begin to tell ourselves, "I'm going to die." Our body kicks into that lower brain function. And by the way, what's fascinating about the lower brain function is it's it's automatic. If I was to touch a hot lantern, my locus coeruleus, the 911 center right there at the end of your brainstem, would just receive the signals from my nerves saying, "My goodness, you just touched something hot," and the locus coeruleus would send the signals to my muscles. It would say, "All hands on deck. This is the most important thing right now. Get your hand away." And you would very quickly jerk your hand away, um, involuntarily. None of that is firing in your prefrontal cortex, the judgment center of our brain, or at least that's some of what our prefrontal cortex does. Is this a good idea or not? Should I be touching this or not? Maybe I should make the decision to pull my hand away. No, that is all involuntary. Well, guys, I bring all of that up to say that Dr. Kristen Neff, who I talked about in one of my last videos, she's big on talking about self compassion. And I'll say it again, if you don't know Dr. Kristen Neff, please watch her TED Talk. Great, great stuff. But she explained that this lower brain function is not only something that we talk about for stress and anxiety, but she also said that negative self talk um, brings all of that lower brain function stuff into action. It triggers that fight or flight. Well, the problem is when we don't fight or we don't run, um, our bodies are left with all that adrenaline. Our bodies are left with all of that cortisol. That means now we're going to have muscle aches, headaches, digestion issues. Um, that is going to um, higher levels of cortisol are linked to anxiety and depression. And so all of this negative stuff, because the perceived threat, listen, it's not outward, it's inward. That's when I tell myself things like this. I'm such a, I should or I should have. I'm so stupid. I'm such a loser. I should be a better dad. I should have taken that job. Um, I should have stopped when I had the chance. That negative self talk gets us in that lower brain function. And all the more as a reminder to us, we have got to have self compassion, like Dr. Kristen Neff says. We have to meet ourselves in that place and say, I'm okay and that's okay. Um, I'm not the best dad. That's true. And it's not to say that I'm not learning and growing and setting goals to achieve them, but I'm okay and that's okay. I really am learning and growing and trying to create a better version of myself. Um, my assignment for you is this. I'm gonna if we're using this in a groups meeting, I'm gonna get off of here and ask you guys, what are some of the negative self-talk that you sometimes use, that you found yourself saying or that you used to say? Things like I'm such a, I should or I should have. And let me ask you guys, if you're listening, if you're subscribed to my channel and follow recovery, or we've known each other throughout the years, and I got a lot of good friends, great friends in recovery that I love very much. Put in the comments, guys, what are some of the negative self-talk that you use or have used? I'm so stupid. I should have. And then once we identify that negative self talk, we can replace it with the truth. And that's where the power comes in. That's where the healing comes in. The truth is, I did make those mistakes, but I'm learning to create a better version of myself. Well, look who joined us at the end of the video. Good morning, Cookie. All right, guys, I love you. God bless you. And until next time, be well.